Governor Doug Burgum, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here at the RJC Summit. That room full of Jews might be more than that you see in North Dakota on a yearly basis. What did it feel like to address that crowd?
Well, a fantastic audience, and obviously people that care deeply about freedom, democracy, they care about their faith, and they care about this country, and so wonderful to be with them. But of course, we do have an interesting and long history in North Dakota with the people of the Jewish faith that were the pioneers that came there in the 1880s, and it's many of those families are still connected there today.
I know you've recognized that community as governor.
Yes, absolutely, we have, and it's they've made important contributions and continue to our state.
You're an upstart candidate, a presidential candidate here. You recently laid out your foreign policy initiatives. Fill us in a little bit.
Well, when we announced our campaign, we said there was three things we're going to focus on in every stop, and that was the economy, that was energy policy, and it was national security, and those three things are completely interrelated. That was back on June 7th, and now we find, sadly and tragically, as world events unfold, that these are the issues that are going to be on the plate of the next president. Issues that we had identified and talked about, because you can't separate these. Our energy policies embolden countries like Russia, and they support the largest state sponsor of terrorism, Iran. When we lift sanctions on Iranian oil exports and they're going to China, then we're supporting a country who we're in a deep Cold War with right now. So these are all interconnected and interrelated, and we're our strategy, of course, is we need to sell energy to our friends and allies, stop buying it from our adversaries. We've got to achieve peace through strength, and we've got to get our economy really sprinting, and do that through innovation, not regulation, not through an attack on the U.S. businesses, not through an attack on the U.S. energy business, but actually supporting America the way Ronald Reagan taught us how to win Cold Wars and taught us how to win hot wars, because we're in a proxy war with Russia, we're in a proxy war with Iran, we're in a Cold War with China. We have to have a strong economy. We've got to unleash that economy by getting the red tape off the back of American families and American businesses.
This isn't quite as large of a presidential field as we saw 2 elections ago, but still a diversity of ideas, to be sure. Where do you fit in?
Well, I think we fit in right in terms of what America needs, because we have to have someone who understands the limited role of the federal government. As both a business leader for over 30 years building global businesses, I had people working for me around the globe. I had people working for me in countries where they didn't have the right to vote, didn't have the right to free speech. As a young person, you gain appreciation for the rule of law and the freedoms that we have. In 1989, when I was a kid, I was in China, walked into a street market, and they were selling our software for $1 on a 5 1/4-inch floppy that we were selling for $25,000 back in the United States. So I didn't just come recently to understand that China is someone who is a threat to our future and who steals all of our IP. That's something I've been living with during my entire career. But what we need going forward is we have to have someone who understands how the economy works to get the economy rolling, someone who understands how technology has changed every job, every company, and every industry, but needs to change government. We've proven that bringing that private sector experience into state government, that we've been able to revolutionize our approach. We cut spending by 27% in our state, and all the trains still left on time. We can do that at the federal level. We can get the debt down. We can help get our economy going, and with that we can have a strong military to support our allies. When our allies are safe and prosperous, America's more safe and prosperous. Our country has to go in a direction where we support our allies and not just retreat back to ourselves. That would be bad news for generations to come for all Americans.
So let's talk about that in the context of the talk in that room that you were just in. Everything over the last few weeks has revolved around Hamas's massacre and Israel's response. Where do you stand on this issue?
Well, it's ridiculous to me that we've had a president who the day after the October 7th attacks didn't even mention Iran in his remarks at the White House. I mean, Joe Biden literally didn't talk about it. This is like, hey, I'm going to mention the subsidiary, but I'm not going to talk about the parent company that's providing all the funding. Hamas is a proxy of Iran. Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. We have to understand that these terrorists were trained in Iran. We have to understand who we're at war with, and then we have to take the appropriate action. Right now, Joe Biden is effectively funding both sides of this war. He wants to provide relief to both sides. And he's doing that because in his own party, he's got a far left party that doesn't understand the difference between right and wrong, and doesn't have the moral clarity to understand that who's innocent in this situation, the people that were attacked versus those people that were doing the attacking. And Israel, like every country, has a right to defend itself. So clearly, absolutely, America must. I stand with Israel. We must stand with the Jewish people, and we've got to stand with a policy that says we're going to support our allies around the world and not do the things that Joe Biden is doing, which is freeing up tens of billions of assets to Iran, chasing some kind of fantasy around the Obama-Biden nuclear deal under tens of billions of dollars released this summer and recently through this failed hostage deal, which makes it more dangerous for every American student, every American tourist, and every American business person traveling abroad. We've just set a $1 billion price tag on everyone's head. And to do that, and at the same time, the worst of all, lift the oil sanctions, Iran is getting tens of billions of revenue shipping oil to who? To China, who's filling their strategic petroleum reserve with Iranian oil. So he's literally helping our adversaries with the policies that he has put in place right now.
Governor Doug Burgum here joining us at the RJC Summit. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck on the campaign.
Thank you, Mike. Great to be with you.